First and foremost, I want to acknowledge Mr. Tyagarajan, whose space this is that he has rented to us. And this is a very big occasion for our organization. This is our first flagship office in South India. So we have chosen to open our first flagship office in Chennai, the beautiful city Chennai Mahanagaram, only because this is a longest standing operation of the company in the south of India. We have been in Chennai for more than a decade, almost 12 years, and it is a very large operation for our organization. Everyone knows that some of the largest numbers of study abroad aspirants come out of Chennai, and it is a fitting kind of location for us as an organization and to have a flagship location that showcases our intent to support the growing number of Indian students from Tamil Nadu as a state who are looking at various destinations overseas. Our company now represents universities from over 25 destinations. UK, US obviously feature a lot, but there are a lot of emerging destinations that students from Tamil Nadu are looking to go and study, and we are wanting to support them. And this space that you see is a reimagination of how the counselling of the future will look like, which is more of a collaboration between students, parents, and institutions and us as counselors to try and architect a solution for their study abroad aspirations.
Yeah. We have 21 offices across India. And we have a global presence. The idea came, we already have an office here, and we have been running our operation since last 10 years. Why this idea came in order to have the new office altogether? It is just because we kind of understood what kind of an environment, what kind of the counseling experience that today's Gen Zs wants to have it. So that is being the most important thing that we have considered when we opened. As Lakshmi mentioned, that we opened one of the first office in northern India, which was in Delhi. The moment office opened, we started seeing a different kind of a student interest, walking into the offices, sitting here and there and just casually talking to the counselors, so earlier it used to be a very different kind of a counseling experience, which we want to completely revamp. So that's our goal. Also, in coming future, we will also be able to provide, to give a virtual tour of all the universities which are there, 1,000 miles away from here. Students can experience as well from this office. They can have a virtual tour. So that is something, a kind of tech that we are trying to enable here. So yeah, so that is something we want to do. Other than that, when it comes to counseling, so over and above everything, we have always been very, very considerate when it comes to giving the best experience to the student, and this is one of the examples. The setup is one of the examples of that. So yeah, looking forward to work from the new office.
Let's talk about the student aspects. What type of profile you are looking at students?
Yeah. Do you have a follow-up question? Yeah. So the kind of students that we see are academically quite able. Many of our students also get funded by the institutions. So for example, in the intake from April 2025 to March 2026, the students that we sent to study to various parts of the world altogether would have got at least 125 crores worth of scholarships from the various universities that they choose to study in. So to go back to your question, the aspirant profile that we serve as an organization, the profile comprises of students who are academically able, ambitious, are looking largely at STEM related subjects, mainly to do with data sciences, computer science, these kinds of areas, artificial intelligence, emerging fields, and health and allied sciences also feature a lot, because I think students pretty much understand what the future looks like, and they will kind of pick and choose those subjects that will career proof them, so that they can kind of enter into gainful employment, because our students are very much focused on return on investment. They are not, they are taking these huge decisions based on the ability to enter the labor force, either overseas or eventually when they come back to India, they want to be gainfully employed. That is the kind of. Yeah. So first is obviously we support the students in terms of shortlisting the right kind of institution based on their profile. Then we help them put together a very solid application package, because application package contains not just the application, but also the supporting documents that they need to procure from the academic institutions that they have studied in. We offer language coaching services. So, if they are preparing for English language examination, or, they are looking to take French lessons or Japanese lessons or Korean lessons, etc., we have means to support them with that. All of them are virtual classes, so a student sat anywhere in Tamil Nadu can kind of access that. Then we help the students by ensuring that we put them forward for relevant scholarships. We do have colleagues who work on the compilation of all the possible scholarships that students can apply for. And then finally, when it comes to kind of preparing them for the visa, student visa process increasingly has become very complicated for almost all countries. We have a very well-established central visa support service. They review the documents, help put together all the documents that the students need. We also offer a lot of ancillary services. We partner with education loan companies. We partner with insurance organizations who can kind of help insure the lives of students, and so on. We work with accommodation services providers. So we plot every kind of service that the students will need in that journey, and we bring together best in class services to support the students as they progress in that.
Now, going to abroad, safety is the main concern.
Yes.
How measure the safety state that this institution is good for safety in terms of safety?
Yes,
section?
it's actually a very good question. Yeah, when we so I am responsible, for example, for securing the right kind of academic institutional contracts for the organization, and it is very easy to go and get any kind of contract. That is not what we want. We want the contracts that if you look at the contract profile of us as an organization, we are one of the 3 agencies in the whole world to have University College London as our client institution. We work with top universities in every market that we represent, institutions globally. And we also go through a process to evaluate the credentials of the organization. I'll give you an example. Just 2-3 days ago, a medical institution, I will not name the geography, they approached us, wanting us to represent them. So the first step that I do is to get the institution researched in terms of their provenance, in terms of how long have they been established, what are their, are they accredited, And we figured out that the institution was only established in 2024. So their first medical graduates will only come out in 4-5 years' time, right? So there is no history. And my response was that, we have to wait. I do not want to, because at the end of the day, our organization is very aware that in many cases, students and parents, especially parents, they are spending their entire life's earnings sending their child somewhere to study. So we have a duty of care to ensure that the money is spent in the right kind of program. And I'm very happy for our counselors to tell a student that, probably this is not a good course for you. You shouldn't do it. Because we will have that on our conscience. If someone we send overseas, their life is kind of, not going in the right way because they picked the wrong course because we told them to.
Right? The criteria you follow, this institution is our institution. You follow any instruction you have?
Yeah. So one of the key considerations when we onboard a client institution into our portfolio is to look at how long have they been established. Well, how many, what is it a comprehensive institution? Is it a specialist institution? Do they kind of, what is their employability track record if that data is published or available? Do they have the right set of programs and the kind of accreditation those programs have? These are all very important considerations because, you know this. A few years ago, it would have been very easy for a computer science graduate to get an education loan, to go and do masters in computer science somewhere. It is no longer the case because banks and others are also looking at whether this person is going to find a job or not. Because increasingly in the last kind of 24 months, because of artificial intelligence and so on, the kind of programs that students can kind of get jobs, that is also becoming more and more refined. Students should not ideally be doing just plain vanilla subject areas. Okay, a master's in business. What does that even mean in today's time and age? They should be looking at specializations. They should be considering programs that will kind of ensure that they can kind of enter the labor market, because plain vanilla programs are also on the radar for whether these students will eventually be able to kind of contribute anything in the destination market, because governments are looking at all of these factors very closely before just bringing anybody on shore. Yeah.
Okay. Now universities are operating, setting up India campuses.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you see this situation?
Yeah. So I am one of those people. I believe that having international branch campuses in India is a very good thing for Indian higher education, and I will tell you why. I think that when we have IBCs established in this market, it will force us to improve the standards of our local institutions, right? We are now entering a phase where not just the top 100 universities and colleges in India, but the layer beneath that is making sure that, they are starting to kind of provide curriculum and services to students that will help them to compete with these branch campuses that are coming here and establishing themselves in a nice big building somewhere, and are starting to kind of look at how they can take students from India into their programs. But ultimately, even for those international branch campuses or for our local institutions, what will kind of, help them stand out in the crowd is their ability to have work integrated learning and whether their curriculum is matching the needs of the labor market. If locally they do not have connections with employers and they are not teaching the students what the employers are looking for, whether you are an international branch campus or whether you are an Indian institution, whether you are an IIT, IIM, doesn't matter. Students will vote with their feet, right? They will go to those institutions where they know that, okay, I enter into this program, I will come out with a degree that will fetch me a job. That is how, the Indian mindset is. So even for international branch campuses, they will have to prove their value to the Indian parent and the student. They might have one intake, but the next intake onwards, parents and students will ask questions.
In today's scenario, everything is online. Why you choose students to
Funny you say that, because I was talking to another journalist colleague a short while ago, and we were having this discussion. What is the value of a university? This is a question that all of us should be asking. What is the value of a counselor? We should be asking that also, right? Because everything is available online. The main thing I feel that students should think about when they consider going and studying somewhere is about experiences. that experience that you will get when you go and study in a college for a 3-year or a 4-year degree. It is more for your experience than for the curriculum. Probably today, anything and everything that you want to kind of study, you can study online without the help of even a teacher. Guru doesn't matter anymore, sometimes I feel. But having said that, Guru also stands for remover of darkness, right? Most of us, we get shaped socially as an individual because of the time that we spend in a social environment, in a classroom, speaking to, making friends or making enemies even, right? And then we take those learnings and we go into a workplace. You can see the difference in students who come from, studying completely something online and then trying to kind of fit into a social environment. They struggle. Today, when you look, why do you think that, lot of companies that opened up as online paradigms during COVID, why are they talking of experience centers today? Because the learning outcomes suffer. Learning outcomes are suffering because students do not have social interaction. Whether we like it or not, we are not yet, humanoids and robots. We do need other people. We do need the interaction. And that is what now, you will get when you choose to go and study in a college. That is my, passionate belief. Because, ultimately we are social beings. We are, and we need to kind of study with others. Most of the problems that the world faces today, those are problems that only one person will not be able to solve, because those problems are global issues. And to find solutions that will stack up against those global issues, you also need people who have studied with other human beings, right? I think that is what I believe.
It's an organization. How many students you know?
Yeah. So,
what's the future idea?
as a company, we have been in existence for close to 2 decades, more than 2 decades actually. And through that period, we have kind of supported over 1.3 million students with their applications and decision making. And that is a statistic that we are incredibly proud of. And our students come from all the way from, China to Canada. So you can imagine we cover the globe. We have 34 countries in our books, and we have over 120 offices, and like Uttam said, 21 of those offices are in India. And India is a key contributor in terms of the outflow of students.
Mainly, is the common question the parents have.
Return on investment. Will the child get a job? Whether, the program will make them employable. Because, there is also the anxiety about artificial intelligence. Because most of the jobs, entry-level jobs are getting wiped out because of artificial intelligence. So parents, obviously, when they are, investing, and then, every parent is concerned about their child's future. So this is a huge emotional and financial decision, right? To send the child somewhere away. And then on top of that, if they are not kind of getting a qualification that will future-proof their lives, that is a key consideration. So every parent is asking that question, the return on investment question.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.